Five Nights at Freddy's. We all know her and we all tolerate her. This personally is one of my favorite franchises and has always been held near and dear to my heart. So when I caught wind of a new FNAF game, I jumped at the thought of playing it. And what the heck, let's make a video on it while we're at it. So, this is how Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit started a new series. Phase 1, History. FNAF's upbringing is a very unique case that is very much deserving of its own video. I did that a while back, so I'll pin it in the card above just in case you're curious, but more importantly, books. See, I don't know what Scott's obsession with books are, but it has to be deep because holy hell. What is that? Now, I think these are some of my favorite things in the franchise. If I could read, I bet I would love them. I have read the Silver Eyes Trio, but never got to the rest of them. Unfortunately, this one is from one of the later entries, those being the Fazbear Frights. The concept here is simple. You compact 3 short stories set in a different universe and one final one just seeded throughout the rest. Firmly sending it away from the main game, but also saying, hey guys, this shit could also be similar and could be helpful for later things and whatnot. The first of these novels was Into the Pit. Ah, I see what you did there. Phase 2, Gameplay. I especially wanted with this game to core it off into 2 sections, one being the story and the other being the actual gameplay / mechanics. So let's get into the story. Before I get into this video, I wanted to prefix, I am clueless about the books. I will point out certain things that I noticed on the playthrough, but I have not read all these books. I don't believe it hinders the storytelling at all, but I may not be able to point out every single Easter egg that it shows you. So finally, let's dive into the pit. We are immediately thrown into a prologue that has us driving down the road with our papa as Oswald, or the player, who is upset that he has to spend all of his time at Jeff's Pizza, a small and cheap pizza place. Sally's father has no choice. Since the old ass mill closed down, he has been strapped for cash and has resorted to the old ass corner store. I think I'm starting to see the problem here, sir. Sadly, they can't just up and leave because their grandma was there, and since the power of bubble wrap can't get her old ass up, nothing will. We see that our father is genuinely upset with the state of things and truly wants to be a better provider. Traveling back to our little shit stay, and Oswald overheard talks about the dirty ass ball pit where something happened. Hey, you know what would be a great idea? Jumping into that nasty ass ball pit and pretending like you ran off. I said shit stain. Now I think that was a bit light. Anyways, cannonball! Fuck, this sounds really kicking my ass. Please, quiet the fuck down! We stumble our way to Chip and Mike, aka the boy and the bitch, because the bitch mollywopped my ass in skee ball. I apologize for my outburst. I meant pizza rollers. Then we played tag. I don't want to talk about tag. And then we played hide and seek. My genius ass hid in the Golden Freddy suit while he hid in the vent. Huh? Spring Bonnie reveals himself right before he leaves and starts chefing up some kids. So we do what any well-adjusted human does and leave. That is a pseudo ending, but back down to reality, we do actually go back to figure out what's happening. Hey! I'm gonna go with nah. Okay. Well, I gotta follow all that. So we follow him to see this, pretty cool. Oh, makeshift chair! Go! Nah, I'm outie. So I go back to the ball pit and see my loving, upset father with Jeff. You motherfucking snitch. Dad, no! He drags our ass back as we start night 1. Well, shit, now we're in the car and he's just a bunny. That's great. He drags us inside and we have the bright idea to call our mother. So after we distract him, we go and take his phone, and I guess he's good for something because he just has his wife's phone number memorized. So we found it, dialed her. She came to him and said, son, I'm a nurse. Wait, so you're telling me you're a goddamn motherfucking nurse and y'all are barely scraping by? She doesn't see anything wrong with him, even though he hasn't said a goddamn word, and leaves. Thanks, Mom. So now, we just have to sneak back out, and what do? Run straight the hell back to Jeff's, with the intentions of finding Dad in the past. And as we travel back in time, we see that the place is wrecked. And hello, they're established gentlemen, how the fuck are we alive? Apparently we just got that sauce, so we just know how to get her ass out of that robot. All we need is a screwdriver. And the door's locked. Convenient. So, we go back to the past, asking Jeff for a key, since they are the same buildings after all. Hey, yeah, I'll do that, but take out my fucking trash, and here's a flashlight that you will never use. So you went over, dumped the trash, and you met trash in the gang? You went back to that locked door and got the screwdriver, somehow releasing them, and then promptly getting chased the fuck out, segueing straight into night 2. Today you wake up from a horrible nightmare. No, the goth mommies. No! Then you quickly skedaddle your ass to school, skipping breakfast with your loving dad. You grab your lunch and we get to know the community. Basically a kid who has explosives, the bully, and the biddy that Oswald absolutely rizzed up. That girl's name is Gabriella, who gave you a book with blueprints and notes about all the animatronics. Mighty convenient. You quickly went home, and when night came, you made your great escape. Using that screwdriver from before, you unscrewed your window and got out of there. Going straight back to Jeff's, you explore the place, seeing now that you can explore the party room and the storage room. However, you hear noises from the kitchen, so you open the door, and it's blocked. Convenient. The chicken lunges out and attempts to get you when your Bugs Bunny looking ass decides to fall down. Your lunch comes flying out and distracts the robot because it's hungry. Somehow. So we go back in time to get you a slice of pizza, but Jeff's being a little bitch, so we go back, use a rat trap in our back pocket, get a fat ass rat, come back, and bada bing, bada boom. We use that slice to lure the bird. Sup? We go in there and Mike is hiding like a little bitch. So you escort him out, and you quickly skedaddle your ass out into night 3. Skipping breakfast and lunch, we leave for school, where Dylan, aka the bully, is being a dick. Apparently I'm an ocelot, as if that was a bad animal to be, and then slaps me with one of those sticky hands. We jump to our class where we are shitting bricks. It is obvious the situation is messing with our mental health. So the teacher, thinking we need some more air, says we can go and retrieve a book from the principal's office.
So I'm not gonna lie, I went to get a snack. Check in on the classes and lost the keys to the room. So since I'm a good principal, you can go get it.
Sheesh, thanks. So I got her keys, and then she big backed out long enough to where I could get the book and the slappy hand. Back at home, we have to escape again. This time I got a ladder from the attic and slid on out through the garage window. We went back to Jeff's and dove headfirst into the ball pit. This time, hearing cries from the arcade. It's locked. Convenient. So we had to use that slappy hand from before to pull a key from the vent. Not sure how it got in there, but whatevs. We went inside and promptly got chased out by Bonnie. Looking at my notepad, all we need to do is shred some sick ass beats. So you finally find his guitar, but it's busted. So we problem solved by going back to the present and got some strings for our guitar, where bitch face McGee was waiting and started laughing at us. Now we're Oswald the raccoon, which rhymes even better, I'm mad. After that, we promptly shredded it up. Bonnie, being the alpha that he is, attempted to nab us for a music battle, so I hid in the vents. Whoa, thank Jesus. Ah, it's Chris Tyson, run away! You made your way into the arcade and saw how they were fucking with Chad himself, Chip. And look, EDP is back for thirds. Run! Straight into night 4. I'm feeling like shit. I go to school just for this ass to start fucking with me, so I fixed the problem by giving him a D1 tackle. So he decided, nah, my plug did some shit to me, and in the middle of school day, just up and left. Went for Jeff's. Jeff said, you have school? Nah. Alright. You jumped into the ball pit and went towards the sound of children. That place being the office, the door is blocked, convenient. But going to our handy dandy guide, we knew that bright lights scared the bear, so you went to Firecracker Kid, and or called Jet, gave him a stuffed bear for the firecracker, and got kidnapped. Again. This time, we went to the attic and roped down from the window, praying that our life wouldn't end today. Once we got back into the pizzeria, we promptly flashbanged Freddy. The girl bawling in the corner of the room isn't just a scaredy cat, she also is one. So we check in the cans for the quote-unquote noise to find this. I'm sorry for doubting you. So you distracted that thing away from us and promptly came back to find one missing girl. Fuck! She was lured in the kitchen and put into the freezer, but shit ain't hard, so you got the mallet that was fucking up Chip and pounded that bitch into the ground. Then the nabber nabs you before you wriggled out of his grasp and into the safety of night 5. Okay, no more distractions, just motherfucking gas. So being too cool for school, trademark patent pending, we go to Jeff's immediately and okay into the what the actual fuck. Jeff, being the suddenly good manager that he always could have been, decides now was the time to actually lock shit up. So we found him in the office going ham at solitaire and used our maxed out persuasion to say, gimme them keys. Shit the bed. Spring Bonnie was already out and hungry for that ass, so we had to run with some vigor until we lost track of us. The screaming is now in the party room. It's locked by a keycard, convenient. So we go into the backstage through the vents because the animatronics are blocking it to find a pile of shit in the keycard, convenient. You go back, open the door, and move this bitch out of the way to climb through the vent and find Papa. You untie him, but he kinda just stays there as Spring Bonnie comes and takes him. The door is blocked, convenient. You climb back through the vents, running to get your dad back. You go to the ball pit and find him. Then you first give him the Mike Taff and Spethel and dip with you and your dad, where you two just chat up next to the ball pit. And that was predictable. dumbass. And with that, you get your 1-star ending. To get the 2-star ending, you need to find all of your dad's belongings around the pizzeria. This will give you a photo next to the final girl that will momentarily distract Spring Bonnie. In this ending, he dies, suffocating on the ball pit strings. However, Jeff does find out the hard way that he did not die. And lastly, for the 3-star ending, you need all those belongings and you need to repair and complete all the arcade cabinets. You find these pieces in the past and present that will go into a machine where you play the game, getting it to a specific minimum score or just beating it to complete the cabinet, getting you music and one step closer to the end. After getting all of the machines working, Jeff the GOAT praises you for your ingenuity and is inspired to do better. And lastly, on night 5, there are 3 secret games that you need to play. 1, you need to interact with this dumbass machine for way too long. I'm being serious, some say approximately 50 or 100 times to actually get this game mode to even start. It is dumb. Now, these 3 games are a lot more eerie and are all referring to a story. This one is apparently Count the Ways, the one where the character is stuck inside Funtime Freddy and he is choosing at random how she will die. I didn't read the book, so I'm not too sure how they correlate, but whatevs. The second one, you have to interact with a prize counter, getting you a minigame where you collect balloons. Cool. This one is about fetch, which is really signified when you were ripped to shreds by a dog. And lastly, in the party room, if you call your mom, you get your final and most direct minigame, where you are yassifying this girl by putting her together as Circus Baby. All of these minigames are cool and unsettling, and I feel like they might have more significance than what you may think in future games. Now repeat your actions. Getting photo, freeing dad, go to ball pit, mollywop the bunny, bunny distracted, you die, and you two live happily ever after, but now Jeff lives and prospers. Now gameplay. Here I'm going to be more critical, saying what works with me about the gameplay and what does not. Firstly, your main mechanic of survival, hiding, is not my favorite. I love it because it means you never truly feel powerful, and you always have to be on high alert, but can also trap you, prolonging the game because hiding takes a while. You hide, you do stupid easy minigame, you wait and they're gone. Now this is also a problem when you have to go back and get different endings and whatnot, because the first time through, oh, I didn't really mind it at all. But when you're going back and you feel like it's like extra time just being waited on you, it feels like you're always hiding for some reason, which I wasn't too fond of. My only other complaint is useless mechanics. Let's be frank, the flashlight was useless. Even if you did want to use it in the dark, only one night had it being a big old function. Furthermore, distractions were also very rarely used. I liked how they used it in actual like missions, but this one especially could have been a lot cooler. Like, why couldn't Bonnie be more aggro and the way you deal with him was flashing him in the eyes? Or Freddy, you could use distractions to lure him away from doors. It isn't really something that takes away from the experience, but I feel like it could have been a lot better fine-tuned and made something more integral and gave you other ways to face the animatronics other than hiding. Next, the story aspect of this game is amazing. It is its strongest suit, most definitely. How you progress can at times be a bit confusing, but solving the puzzles and making progress was especially satisfying in this. But speaking of story, I like the story itself, but there is one problem. Endings. They were a fucking joke. 1-star bad ending, fine, whatever. 2 stars, you live and Jeff bites the dust, but you have to go and replay the whole goddamn motherfucking game just for Jeff to live. I feel like the secret and penultimate ending could have been like a secret ending that like gives you, or like just a different one that gives you like a lore drop or something or anything. I don't mind the story, but replaying the game for that just wasn't all too worth it. Lastly, before we move on, I wanted to talk about a couple of smaller factors. One is horror. Yeah, FNAF isn't scary, but this game is kind of scary. Even though there were only a few times that I was genuinely scared, mostly because of the spiders. Do you know? Oh god! Oh, Jesus. But this game actually had a good time making me anxious, leading me to always second guess my actions and feeling like I was constantly having this feeling of dread. Secondly, chef kiss to the art design. It is such a different feel for FNAF, and they did a great job, not only in the gameplay, but especially in the close-up, making you feel really unsettled and just absolutely awesome. But finally, on to phase 3, final thoughts. This game to me struck me as a new direction, trying to be what the books are in every sense. It may share some similarities and help us with the main games, but they are something completely different, opting to give us a story rather than a question. So in my opinion, they did start a new series here, and in my opinion, they completely smashed it. I love the gameplay the first time through and love the bountiful amounts of side content you can play through. There are kinks, like I said. The endings stunk, the mechanics could use some work, but they redeemed it with an amazing story, really diving into how the situation affected Oswald and how he really changed into someone who loves his family, especially his dad. And the puzzles, oh, they were so goddamn, they were just a treat to play. One last thing is I would also like to say this game was pretty short. If I was less shitty, I could have probably banged it out in 2 hours and maybe 2 more for the other endings. Game length isn't that integral to me, especially when talking about quality, but I would like to see something a bit more full and or something that feels a lot more like a full-length game. But without further ado, my ranking for Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit is an astounding 8 out of 10. This game did have some rough patches, but I enjoyed it much more than I disliked it. Phase 4, conclusion. Thank you for watching my latest installment of How, the series where I present you a question and I go through the history, gameplay, and story of the game to reach a conclusion. If you have any thoughts, suggestions, or feedback, leave them in the comments. If you liked my video, consider subscribing, it would make my day. And until next time, see ya.